Hello everyone, today I got some unexpected, not so good news to share with you guys. I'm currently in the rooftop of my apartment. I wanted to go up and walk around so I can kind of make sure I tell you guys all the information. Actually, this is what Da Nang looks like right now because of the lockdown. Kind of quiet except for the construction, but like I said, a lot's been going on. Number one, there's an election. We have a lot of visa extensions have been denied, and we are currently in a lockdown. So I wanted to make this video to kind of update you guys about this visa situation that's been a bit scary. Now, if you guys watched my last video, I did talk about how we had some new cases in Da Nang, but what I didn't tell you is how those cases got in the country. So if you guys don't know, from 2020, Vietnam had closed its borders and no one is allowed in. Now, the only people that could come back to Vietnam is if you were a Vietnamese citizen, if you had some business, or you had a work visa, you can come in. One of the reasons why we got into lockdown is because there were some people that were able to get into Vietnam illegally. And due to that, there's a stronger enforcement on, the visas and making sure everybody here is legally here. And what we realized is that there are a lot of scams that have been happening. So let me first explain the visas that were allowed here. You have the tourist visa, you have the business visa, and you also have a work visa, which is the TRC, temporary residence card. So with the tourist visa, before the pandemic, you were able to come here. As an American, you can come for 1 year and do multiple entries, such as leave Vietnam, come back, but you were allowed to come in and out for 1 year. Now, the business visa, I believe, was up to 2 years, and again, things may change as I'm telling you this. So if you're watching this at a later date, this may not be valid. Just make sure that there was a business visa that would allow you for a year or two. And then there was also the TRC, which is similar to you have to get a work visa with the TRC, which is the temporary residence card. So you would get a company that will give you the residency for coming to work in Vietnam. Now, the big issue right now is that the companies that were sponsoring people from all over the world to come to work in Vietnam, a lot of them were scams. So those were pretty fake. So this is what the government has realized and has been kind of taking action towards, because when they did the research and found out how are people coming in, how is the pandemic back here, if you guys didn't know, we didn't have any new cases since last year, and Da Nang, we were pretty free, and specifically companies in Da Nang were bringing people illegally to Vietnam. So because of that, there's been a couple of arrests, and now they're really doing their diligence and making sure that everyone is properly here. So as of now, it's been very focused on business or work visa, the TRC. However, there's been some news of people with tourist visa also getting denied their visa extension. So as a tourist visa, since the pandemic, because we couldn't leave and come back, everyone that was on a tourist visa here, the only option was for you to get a visa extension. So even if you had bought a previous visa, with the pandemic, as you guys know, everything was different in 2020. So because of that, a lot of people couldn't use that visa, and the only option was for you to get a monthly visa extension. So this is something that was allowed last year, but I believe because of this year now, 2021, it might be a bit different. Now that I'm understanding it clearly, it is obviously our responsibility to make sure that we are here following the rules. So naturally, without the pandemic, most countries would allow you to stay with a tourist visa for a certain amount of time. And then after that, they will ask you to either, apply for the residency or leave, which is very understandable. But the pandemic kind of changed all of that. But what I realized, it's always in your best interest to do your research and make sure that everything is correct. Same thing with the business and TRC visa. If somebody is offering you an opportunity to come to a country where you have to work for a company, but you're not actually working for the company, make sure that you see that things are legit, because the other option is that if you get caught, or if there's something that you didn't know, you didn't do your research, but it might be iffy, just use your common sense, because the other option is that you can get blacklisted, and that means that they could potentially prevent you from ever stepping foot into the country. So if you don't want that, and if you don't want your passport to be flagged, make sure that you do your research. This is something that we are now going to look into, because there's a possibility that, you know, our extension may be denied. So there's a lot of uncertainty going on right now. After hearing this news, it's been a crazy chat all over the internet. People are a bit worried. Even my landlord was a bit worried too. So my first reaction is always to be proactive. I mean, my first reaction, obviously I was freaking out just like everybody else, but now I realize like the best thing for me to do is to be proactive and to find out the solutions. So I would love your help if you guys have any suggestion, but I just wanted to let you know that for me, I'm looking into the possibility of starting a business here. However, it's still something that I don't know if I can, because there's been so many scams, so I don't even know who to trust. And it's going to be something that I will be doing my research on, because I love living here, so I would enjoy staying here for, you know, longer. The other option would be to possibly have to leave here. So if I have to leave, maybe I have to look into other countries and see what are my options. So those are things that I have to look into. And the last option would be to go home, which is not something that we would want, but we have to be aware that these are possibilities that may happen. Now, I also want to answer some of your questions, because you guys have left questions on my last video where you were wondering if it was still possible for you to come to Vietnam. So I want to give you guys some advice and also give you guys some tips. So first of all, I don't think right now is the best time to, you know, look or try to come to Vietnam because of this situation. At this moment, we are already in a lockdown, and there's been cases in Hanoi, Saigon, and Da Nang. So there's having cases and having situation right now, plus the fact that we are in current elections. I wouldn't recommend you come in, but whenever you're planning in the near future, make sure that you do your research. Guys, it is so important for you to make sure that you did the research. You don't take just anybody's word for it. Make sure that the companies that you're using are legit, you know, because what if somebody tells you that you can get a business visa or work visa, but it is illegal? Like, just at the end of the day, it's always going to be you who's going to be blacklisted. So don't take anything just lightly. Make sure you do your research. Now, in the near future, if tourism is open again, obviously, you know, you won't have to worry about that. But at this moment, I wouldn't say it's the best time to come here. Now, I kind of want your advice. What would you guys recommend at this moment? I'd love to get some of you guys' feedback on any of these options. Please let me know what you guys would think. So this is currently where we're at this moment. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this brief update. I just wanted to give you guys more information about the visas, because it's been such a big chat everywhere in the comments. So I wanted to update you guys on that, and I'll keep you guys posted on what we are going to do, what's our next step with what's been going on. So I'll try to update you guys more frequently. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.